Well, look at this. Pocket Change Market Report, the Memorial Day weekend edition. Of course, by the time you're looking and kind of perusing what's been going on in the marketplace, it's going to be a Tuesday. So this would be a good way to kick off your week, your shortened week. But since I haven't done it in a week and a half, let's go ahead and jump in to some happenings on the eBay market for some coins that people have either cherry-picked, they've come across and changed. You just never know. There's a lot of great stuff in the market report to give you an idea of what sells today. All right, that's important. So I'm your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. As always, welcome, ladies and gents. We got a fun one here for you, and a pretty diverse mix of coins and currency. You heard that right. We got a little bit of a half and half deal here for your daily cup of pocket change coffee. But in any event, as you guys know with these market reports, for this one particularly, all the sales come from eBay. I use the seller-provided images. Okay, so these are raw images. They're not doctored in any way. What you see is what everybody else sees. So when these coins are being purchased, you get to kind of dabble in the quality of some of the coins, and expectation wise as well. What are buyers looking for when they're going through these listings? Okay, so that's very important, because if your images stink, your sales more than likely will stink with it too. All right, so a lot of great stuff. As always, like, share, subscribe. If you've never been here before, welcome again. And yeah, very exciting week. Still very busy in the market. And I don't see this slowing down at all. People have money to spend while they're at home during this crazy time in our world. So, yeah, really cool. Hopefully you guys like that little image I threw up here for the thumbnail. This is just going to be a little kind of like slice of the pie of what you should expect. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with the first coin. And by the way, all coins have been sold within the last 24 to 36 hours. And generally, all the coins will be raw, which means they're not authenticated. They're not graded of any kind. Okay, these are coins like straight out of change. You find them, take a picture, throw it up on eBay, make a few dollars or more. All right, so what we have here is a 2007 Philadelphia Roosevelt dime. It's a little bit off-center. But in addition to the off-center strike that you see here, it also exhibits a tilted collar, or what they call a railroad rim. I'll show that to you here in a moment. The seller did a pretty decent job with this image here. This is more of an out-of-collar strike than anything else, because you still have a lot of devices showing on the reverse. Like United States of America, if it was a real off-center strike, this would be cut off right here. So this is more of an out-of-collar strike, uncentered broad strike style with a partial tilted collar. This one sold for a best offer of $15.50, and this is what the edge will look like. As you guys know, on these dimes, they have the little lines, kind of like what I call grip lines or reeded edges. It's just a texture that they put on the edge of the coin to denote a different denomination other than the penny and nickel. Well, I don't know if that's the case, but I usually see these on dime denominations and up through the half dollar. But this one right here, you can see kind of like that railroad action going on. It looks like a rail, on a railroad, right? And that's how it affectionately got its name. But keep an eye out for coins like this. This one, because of how misaligned it is, this is more of a extreme example, but there are other lesser extreme examples that can sell for just as much money. So make sure you keep an eye out for these. All right, so the next one that we have here, I just have one image provided for this particular listing, but it's a 1996D Lincoln Cent. This one is off-center by about 60%. But the main thing about this listing, because the seller had put in the description as being zinc doubled, which there's really no thing that exists of that type. You got to keep in mind when a coin is not struck 100% centered within the confines of the striking chamber, okay, you're going to get anomalies like this that look like the plating is pulled away from the devices. And that's just normal. Okay, you can even see it here along the edge where Lincoln's bust is. You're going to see a lot of that extra just kind of like stretching of the metal. Keep in mind, the copper plating on these zinc coins is extremely thin, so it's not going to take much for this kind of, I guess, extravagant deterioration. You're going to see it really close. Now, this one right here is sold for $28.50. Of course, a buy it now option, best offer option was accepted for this coin. All right, check out your proof sets. This 1968 S Jefferson nickel proof hides a dirty little secret that'll actually make you quite a bit of money. Now, keep in mind, the only coin that typically I would say is worth anything out of a 68 San Francisco proof set would obviously be the half dollar because it's 40% silver. It's the only coin in the set where we picture intrinsic value revolving around the set of 5 coins in that collection. But this one right here sold for quite a bit of money, and the big reason why is it's a known doubled die. So this one right here is the DDO number 17. It's a Konica attributed variety, but you could see the just the splits right here in all of the devices, and over here on part of the date as well. Although it's not nearly as strong on the date, and here's a star, you can see it there a little bit. But in the words Liberty, the word Liberty, you could see it quite strong. So I'll say it once again, if you're going to be looking at varieties or even errors, I always highly recommend a nice magnifier, okay? Anything 8 to 10 times power is more than suitable, and you can see stuff like this really easily. If you guys need access to one, I do have them for sale down below in the description box. I have Amazon links down there. I get paid very little, kind of, like peanuts on certain days. But it's my way of, kind of giving you the options of various types of key materials that you need for this hobby. So go check it out. A really nice magnifier is actually very affordable. So here's another image of Liberty. These are a few different other letters, but you can see the same the same splitting here, the separation lines. It's a very neat coin, all right? And this one sold for $39.95, where typically a coin like this you could buy at a coin shop or maybe on eBay for less than $1. We're talking about bargain level basement type coins here. So this is an opportunity for a great cherry pick. Make sure you check out some of those earlier 1960s, early 70s proof sets because there are more coins much like this. All right, so I wanted to draw a little bit of emphasis on BU rolls. Now, the 69S is one of those special dates because it poses the genuine opportunity to find one of the most valuable, most rarest varieties out there, and that's the double die obverse FS101 type. Now, full rolls of this coin obviously would sell for a premium because it's almost like buying a lottery ticket. So we have a set of 2 rolls here for you, both 69S. This comes from what they call a private collection, and this pair sold for $28.49. So a 50-cent roll you could get about $12, $13 for this particular date because of its close ties to that big doubled die. So keep that in mind. All right, so this next coin right here looks pretty innocent at first glance, but this one also has a pretty neat error on it. Make sure you keep an eye out for die clashing. What we have here is a 1996 Philadelphia Roosevelt dime. Generally, your strongest clashing is going to occur on some of the more Philadelphia minted coins. Okay, you don't see them too much in Denver minted coins. However, I've come across a few of them myself. Now, you're going to see a few clashing areas here in front of Roosevelt's face, and then right here at the crux of his neck. All right. Usually, with this kind of a strong clashing, you also have it on the reverse as well, although this one looks like it is pretty well cleaned. The reverse die wasn't nearly affected, or they had replaced that reverse die anyways. So a coin with this kind of obverse clashing sold for $23.50. Okay, so money can be found at any possible corner that you turn. Make sure you look at all of your dimes, okay, because these actually come up quite frequently, these die clashes. All right, so we have a really nice 1969D Lincoln Memorial cent. This one is off center by about 60%. However, what makes this one pretty special is that is a key date in off-center error collectors. There are a few dates within the Lincoln Memorial series that are just really difficult to find. This is one of those dates right here. This one sold for $39.99. Quite a bit more than some of the other dates that come to mind, like a 70D. 72s, are really easy to find, but this one right here is one of the tougher ones. All right, so this coin right here is a 1921 Lincoln Wheatie. It's worn down. It's seen a lot of action in circulation, no doubt. But to an eagle die collector, they see this little crack deal right here. And what it is this is a lamination. So you have an issue with the actual the planchet quality, and that affects the layering of these blanks to where they begin to flake off even after the strike. So this one right here sold for $8.25. So that's a coin that you're looking at that's worth about 5 cents in its current condition, but a nice piece of lamination that you see right here will greatly enhance the value of that coin. So keep that in mind. All right, so the big spotlight coin or coins of this particular pocket change market report revolves around this phenomenon called Cuds, C-U-D, or a massive die break, a huge failure in the dies, where a piece of the die had fallen off just due to wear and tear. This is how it translates onto a struck coin. You have just a big, huge blob or this void right here. As you can see, this coin right here, this Cud covers up most of the date. You have the 1 and 9 showing, so it's any guess what the rest of the date would be. Even the mint mark's been covered up if that applies. But on these coins, you want to make sure on the reverse that you have a corresponding weak area in that same spot for where the Cud is. Now, this is a listing of 2 coins. So you have this 19, question mark. And then you have this one right here that is a little bit lesser condition, but the entire date has been obliterated by this massive die break. So this pair of coins sold for $200. If you think that seems like a lot, it probably is. But guess what? The bigger the Cud, the more these are worth. Okay, and oftentimes people toss these away as being damaged, when in reality these are a phenomenal error piece in today's coinage. So make sure you keep an eye out for these. They could be a little smaller, a little bit bigger. Just make sure that you keep them as you come across them. All right, so here's another innocent looking coin. It's the 1979 Philadelphia Susan B. Anthony. Looks like it's been through many Coca-Cola machines. But this one right here, if you notice on the reverse, a little bit thicker rim right around here. And what we have here is a small, innocent little broad strike with a partial collar. Now this one here sold for 20 bucks. But as you can tell, it's been used and abused over the course of its life before someone pulled it out of change. And then there you go. Someone noticed a little error to it, as minor as it may be. It did sell for $20. And that's a $20 bill that that person didn't have before they discovered this. All right, so this is going to be the only graded coin on the list. And I usually don't talk about graded coins, but this one is definitely warranted of some sort of conversation. It's the 1997 Lincoln Memorial Cent, the FS101 doubled ear. You can see the extra earlobe right here. However, graded Annex AU55 details. It's got a scratch on the coin. I think it's on the reverse because it doesn't show on the obverse. But a coin in this condition that has been damaged, sold for $49, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it's a really neat error, and it's very desirable. This is one of those tougher varieties to find, but only because not a lot of people know what it is or even know that it exists. Make sure you keep an eye out for this coin. Now this one's cool. This is a 1992 D Roosevelt dime that is missing the entire obverse nickel plating. All right, so you have an obvious issue here with the missing plating, but it also made the coin a lot thinner. Okay, so this one right here only weighs 1.88 grams, which is a little bit less than a full planchet for this coin. But you can see the corresponding weakness on the reverse because the coin is thinner. All right, so when a planchet is thinner, okay, these presses or these these minting machines, all right, they're already set up for a specific pressure for the coin. So when you have a blank that's a lot thinner than normal, then you're going to get some weakness somewhere on the coin. So this one right here is sold for $32.96. Pretty nice. Okay, so we have a 1977D. This is a double struck coin, and this is what they call a uniface, only because the secondary strike on the reverse exhibits nothing, all right, other than the stretching of 1 and cent, but it doesn't have any reverse detail designs of the normal coin. But what's really cool on this example here is you have a little partial piece of the date on here. The second strike is 90% off center, so it's quite a bit, but there's just enough on here to let you know that, there is a date on there. Pretty neat. This one sold for $32.96. Pretty nice coin. And this is one that should be on everybody's hit list anyways. It's a 1972 Lincoln Memorial cent that exhibits the doubled die obverse FS103 variety. Okay, as you guys know, there's about 10 or so major varieties for this particular date. Now this is number 3, die pairing 3 along the line. But on this coin, it's got a doubled tail here on the 9. You got a little bit of stretch action on the 1. Same on the top left of the 7. This is a really nice coin, and under a magnifier, you know you have this one. Now, the date is not spectacular as far as the attribution of the 103, but if you looked at Liberty, you have quite a bit of spread right here in all of the devices of Liberty, so that's one of your hot points. And also in the motto, "In God We Trust." So this is a coin in BU condition, like a mint state 63, 64, sold for $42.78. Quite a nice coin. Remember, these are still out there, quite a few of them, and in nice condition. All right, so we got a 1970D Roosevelt dime with a kind of a minor rim clip. It's not extravagant by any means, but yeah, shouldn't you be pulling these out anyways? It does look damaged, but this is a certified, just true blue U.S. Mint error. Okay, and it should be pulled out in any conceivable case. Do not throw these back. So this one here is sold for $18.90. Easy money. All right, so we got a 1985 series $1 Federal Reserve note. The third printing on this is misaligned. So, yeah, when you can see a corresponding note right here at the bottom or the top, then you know it's kind of a big deal. You have the serial numbers and the district seals all cattywampus on this note, but on the reverse, it's completely centered. So this is a printing issue of the third printing when they send it back through, and it's just a marvelous error to find. Now this one has obviously seen some circulation before someone finally pulled it out, but this one right here is sold for $40.09. Again, this is treasure just hiding out there. Now here's another good one. It's a 1999 Lincoln Memorial cent that exhibits a pretty mild broad strike. Okay, you could tell based off of the example coin behind it that this one is a little bit larger. Okay, you could see the extra kind of like area between the motto and the rim. Okay, this is not typical. Plus you could see some of that stretch. Remember the copper plating stretch I talked about at the beginning of the video? Same thing applies, and that's why you have this double profile also. That's just the copper plating splitting away from the device, exposing some of that zinc core. Now this one right here is sold for $18.75. All right, so keep an eye out for something like this. Any error that involves a bicentennial coin, whether it's the quarter, the half dollar, or the Eisenhower dollar, is kind of a big deal because we're talking 3 of the more widely, I guess, hoarded or collected or whatever you want to classify it as being one of the more widely collected modern coins of the last like 45 years, 50 years. So when you have an error that comes across on one of these bicentennials, you're talking a coin that has a lot of appeal, a lot of desirability. Now this one right here, it's real simple. It's just 10% off center. It's not extravagant, it's not wildly off center, but this one, for how minor it is, did sell for $76.80. All right, so that's quite a bit of money for something that looks quite innocent. All right. All right, make sure you guys look through your scrap silver. Now, this is just a regular plain Jane 1923 piece dollar. Today's money, you can buy one of these for between like $17 to $19 scrap value. So if you have a coin dealer that sells these, all right, that would be the general going rate for them. But this one exhibits a little bit of a rim clip, and it's just so difficult to find these earlier silver dollars, these big honking silver dollars of like the Morgans or Peace with any type of error on it, and they're always desirable. Now, I'll be honest, I felt like this one probably sold for a little bit less money than what I think it should go for, but it sold for $32.09. All right, probably left a little bit of meat on the bone, but make sure you keep an eye out for some of these just minor errors on these big old coins. They're definitely worth it. All right, how about a star note for you? Okay, so as you guys know, star notes replace damaged notes in the printing process. So these were already pre-printed up to a certain amount. And whenever there is an amount of damaged notes in a run or on a sheet, they cut those out, obviously, and then they'll go ahead and insert in a star note replacement. Okay, that's what it is. However, some of these runs are kind of rare. They're very small. Okay, so this one right here, this 2006 Cleveland Star, is a low run that comes from 640,000 pieces made for this run. Which it's a little bit on the higher side, but there are some that are like 320,000, 160,000, 90,000. Those are pretty rare. But this one right here is a nice gem shape. It looks like it came out of a Federal Reserve pack. And this one here sold for $43. There is some money to be made here. People always ask me, how much is my star note worth? Well, it really depends on the run number. Okay, and this one, I would say 640,000 is the limit in terms of value, because once the run limits go beyond that, they're not worth as much as you think. And this is the reverse of the note. Really nice shape. Crisp unk. All right, so here's another one of those early dates that really doesn't look, a whole lot like anything. It's a nice circulated 1920 Lincoln Wheat Cent. But on the reverse, you have a really nice sized Cud. Okay, another Cud that sold for a lot of money. This one sold for $79.50. Check out those old coins. Okay, you come across one, it doesn't matter how worn or beat up it is, you have quick money to be made right here. And here's another proof right here, 1990. Look how huge this Cud is. Now, this is another coin that you need to keep an eye out for. It's dirty, it's nasty, it's disgusting, but hey, for $140, would you at least touch it, package it up, and mail it to its new owner? Heck yeah. So keep an eye out for these big blobby coins. They're some of my favorites, and they're always worth good money. All right, so not indicative to the images, because I think the image quality on this particular listing was not that great, but we have a 1972D candy half dollar that is missing the FG initials on the reverse. Mr. Frank Gasparo would not be proud to have his initials left off. But we're talking about an abraded die or over polishing of the die, and that's what caused these. Now, you need to keep an eye out for these. It's crazy because the seller nailed the close-up image, which is actually a lot tougher than actually taking good quality pictures of the obverse and the reverse. But you can tell that this one is definitely missing the initials. And this one sold for $18.49. Not too bad. All right, so here's another strange one. This is actually a 1964D candy half dollar, okay? Very closely associated to what I would normally buy as scrap, all right? So I would buy these things for like $6, $7 a piece. I would just enhance my silver stack, so to speak. That seems to be the terminology used these days for silver bugs. But keep an eye out for some pretty cool varieties on the Denver Minted 64s. I'm telling you this because this is testament here, but this one listing here kind of wacky because it's advertised as a nice condition specimen, but it only has pictures, close-ups of the motto "In God We Trust." So see how crazily doubled all the devices are in the letters of God, and then trust. Some would even say that this is a triple die obverse, which there is one attributed. This one right here, by the way, is the FS103. But the seller only put up close-ups of these devices, and that's, I guess, really all that mattered, because the coin did sell for $49.99, and that's a traditional auction, by the way. That's not buy it now, so pretty cool. All right, so another beat-up Lincoln wheat cent. This one, obviously, though, has somewhat of a weak strike, but it's a 1939 Lincoln that obviously been struck through a lot of grease. Take a look at the reverse. Very, very soft, a lot of missing details, and then the obverse, it's very smooth and rounded out as well. This is a coin that sold for $38.50. All right, so here's my one public service announcement for the day. Now, be cautious about these cutting error notes that people are advertising online and on eBay. Now, this is a note right here, this $2 Federal Reserve note, that exhibits to some people a genuine error, okay? It's like, oh yeah, that's got to be an error. It's got to be worth money. Now, this particular example right here sold for $15.99. It may not seem like a lot, but a genuine cutting error would not sell for just $16. So yeah, there are quite a few error collectors that are wise to this particular thing that's been going on. I'm not going to say the word. I'll let you guys do that. But these right here are typically fabricated from full sheets of bills, whether it's ones, twos, fives, whatever the case may be. In the case of this particular $2 note sheet, these are available for about $125 shipped. And if you were to cut down and make all of these fabricated errors, then you would have essentially tripled your money. All right, so that's the reason why that people are doing this. They're going and buying out full sheets, which by the way, is all over eBay, for those particular rates. And then they'll go and trim it. So, one thing to keep in mind when something like this happens, you got to keep in mind the cutting will be straight and it won't be dog-eared. See this right here, this corner? How you have that little flippy dog ear right there? That's not supposed to happen on these notes. Okay, the cutting machines that the BEP uses are second to none. They're not going to leave little dog ears like that. That's just amateurish type stuff right there. So be forewarned, these are not real errors. They are, however, just mutilated legit notes. Okay, and that's a shame. I'd rather keep the full sheet. It's just a better presentation. All right, so we got another weak struck Lincoln cent. This one is a 1976. This one has been struck through a massive amount of grease, as always. Keep an eye out for these coins. It's more than just regular circulation wear. These are actually the real deal kind of mint error that people like to look for. This one sold for $28.90. And finally, we're going to go ahead and wrap off the pocket change market report with this Wisconsin quarter. It's a 2004 D. As you guys know, one of my favorites. This is the high leaf variety right here. Okay, as you guys know, there's two different varieties that were made for this coin. The low leaf and the high leaf. It remains to be seen if it was a forced variety or if it really was made in error. But I seem to think that because of how well it's engraved into the design, that it is certainly an added feature by a mint employee on purpose. But anyways, this coin right here sold for $99.95. These are still commonly found out there. And even in conditions like this one where they are circulated, with some marks, dings, AU condition, they are still a pretty good seller. All right. So Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video gave you a little inspiration to go out and buy some coin at the bank and go look for your own treasure. I want to be able to do a video highlighting one of your sales, and it would be my pleasure because this is what we do. Okay, we go out, we look for like coins to enhance our collection or coins that we could find and turn and burn and make some good money. Okay, those are out there. As you can see, we had 27 big bombs in there, actually 26, not including the fabricated $2 cutting error. But it was sure a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun as well. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for instant notification. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. You guys take care. Happy hunting. Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys take care, and I'll see you on the next coin video.